Before I start this video, I just want to give a quick thanks to Stuart from Stuart's Tarantulas. I bought this beautiful specimen from him. She was in perfect health and is also not too old, and he gave me a decent price too. So thanks, Stuart. If you guys like tarantulas, check out his channel. It'll be linked in the description. Just got home from the Reptile Expo and I bought this enclosure over here from Arachno Shop for my versicolor. It's quite a nice enclosure, looks good. I think though that there is not going to be enough ventilation because there's just this slit and this slit back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a spacer here by the door to lift the door up a little bit. Like over here. This is the Versi that's going in there. She just molted a couple days ago. So I'm going to let her harden up a little bit before I do that. But what I might do is I've got these glass drill bits. These ceramic and glass drill bits, if my camera will focus. There we go. I think I got them from Mica for like 40 bucks a piece. And as you can see, I've done some holes in this enclosure. And the glass only cracks when the bit gets blunt. So just make sure you got a fresh bit. So I'll probably go buy another one. Got some of this cork bark over here from Arachno Shop too, which I'll probably break in half. So yeah, I think what I'm gonna do right now is add a spacer, and I think I'm gonna drill a line of holes somewhere along here. So now what I've gone and done is I've just filled it up with substrate, sloped it to the back a little bit, got a little water dish in here, and now I'm gonna try break the cork bark in half this way and then break it however short I need it to be so that it'll fit. Alright, got these two pieces of cork bark in here like this, and I think I'm gonna take a flat piece out of that enclosure over there and glue it maybe across here somewhere, and I'll put a water bottle cap on one of these pieces as an extra water. I'm just gonna carefully drill some holes in the front panel now with the 4mm ceramic and glass drill bit, and hopefully not crack it. I'm gonna do it at about 2 centimeter intervals. It's not gonna line up perfectly, but it'll be alright, I'm sure. I just finished drilling all of these holes. They're not super clean like this one, you can see especially, but they're not sharp. They're not gonna cut the spider. I've done this in a bunch of my other enclosures and haven't had any problems. It does take a while though, just to drill these holes. Took about 20 minutes. And there's only 9 holes here. Alright, so now I'm going to be doing the final touches on this enclosure and rehousing my versicolor. actual rehouse. Let's see. This girl's a bit skinny because she's just molted, but I'll feed her up in there. She's already got a couple good meals, but she needs a few more. Which, look at that. Definitely quite beautiful. Let's see. Alright. Let's go ahead. Let's transfer her. There she goes, all on her own. You guys might have missed a bit of that, but look at that. Absolutely stunning. Alright, so now that I've got her in here, I'll tell you guys how I've got this set up. So first of all, I've got this drainage layer of sand, which I find helps keep the substrate from going too nasty, and also keeps up the humidity. When the door's closed, it goes to about 70, and it basically just stays there pretty constant. I've got just a regular air plant back there, which I've been quarantining, so it's safe, and I've tested it with other spiders. I've got this over here, more places to hide, back here, down there, everywhere. Okay, so I think the ventilation for this should be okay, because I've got these spacers here, so when the door goes on, there's a gap here. And then I also have holes that I've drilled in the door. And there's this gap here, and this gap here. And I also have a fan on in here all the time. So for these guys, what people say they do really well in bioactive setups. I've never tried it myself until now, so I'll see how that goes. I've still got some fake plants in there because if I wanted more real plants and stuff, I think I would need more ventilation. But yeah, so you want to keep the humidity in a range from about, I would say about 60 to 80. They're going to be okay. But the most important thing is just having enough ventilation and making sure the air doesn't stagnate. Also, I must say, this cork bark is quite nice to have in your enclosures because it makes your enclosures smell kind of like pine or like a fragrant conifer, which is quite nice, and it doesn't seem to bother the spiders. But yeah, that's pretty simple. So they are fully arboreal. They do not tend to burrow at any stage of their life, from my experience, you know, whereas other arboreal slings will burrow a lot. They do tend to sit out in the open as well. I feed mine small dubias or male dubias, large crickets, that's about it. Occasionally a superworm. I don't like to feed the superworms because once they've grabbed the superworm, it tends to wriggle around and break their webbing. So yeah, And then you should always have 2 water bowls, in my opinion. One on the ground, and you can have a bit of a damp area around that one. You can see I've also covered the ground in sphagnum moss, which also helps hold in the humidity. And then you should have one up high. Most people just use a bottle cap that they glue to a piece of cork bark. That's what I've done as well. And yeah, so hopefully she will do well in here and enjoy the setup. She is looking absolutely stunning. She molted about 3 weeks ago, I think. 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And then if I ever notice that the air is stagnating in here, or it's getting too humid or too stuffy, then what I will do is I've done this on this enclosure here, I'll get a razor blade and then just squeeze it in there and cut along the silicone on both sides, and then take this part off, and drill 1 or 2 rows of holes over there. And that should hopefully fix the problem. I'll also probably later add some charcoal to the soil and put some isopods and springtails in here. I'm not so sure about the springtails because they'll be able to get out from this gap, but I don't know, I'll try it anyway. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Care for these guys is honestly pretty simple. Obviously ventilation is key for these guys, especially when they are slings. That's what I've found. When they are slings, they like a good bit of ventilation. Unfortunately, my sling died due to a molting problem, so this is currently the only one I have. I'll probably be picking up a new one. Anyway, see you guys in the next one.